Welcome to another weekly stock market update. Today is October 13, 2019. In this video, we're going to take a look at the cash index of the S&P 500 and then the futures along with the ETF. And also, we're going to take a look at the cash index on the NASDAQ 100 along with the future and the ETF QQQ. Then at the end of the video, we're going to take a look at the crude oil and the gold market. But before I do that, I'd like to ask you to click the thumbs up if you like the content on this video. And if you are not a subscriber on my YouTube channel, click on the subscribe button and the notification icon so you won't miss any of my future video. So let's go and take a look at the S&P 500 on the screen here. We got the weekly chart here. As you can see, it's another volatile week. It had a swing of over 100 points and a little bit over 3%. And looking at the daily chart, we see that it tried to move up initially at the beginning of the week above the 29.39 and was unable to hold that level. Then it came down and found some support down here at the 28.91.85. It started getting a bounce up as the trade negotiation between U.S. and China get underway on Thursday. And there seems to be a little bit of a pump on the news and also on the social media. Then as the trade negotiation come to a come to an end, and Trump is tweeting out to give a little bit of a positive spin on saying it had a substantial phase one agreement, I guess, and that got the market going. Then when the actual news came out, it wasn't that much of a substantial deal, and apparently it's nothing even in writing. So the market sold off on the news, and right now we're basically watching to see in the coming week, will this gap here get filled and come back down and retest this 29.39 and possibly come back down and maybe get back and retest this 28.91 once again. But if it is continue to push up, then we'll be watching, will it be able to move above and stay above the 29.92.53 and get up to this pivot high here. And if it could get up this pivot high, then we're basically looking for the all-time high to be back in play. And looking at the E-mini S&P 500 future, the ES, you see that we got a sort of a shooting star doji on Friday with this gap here on the news after the trade negotiation between U.S. and China meeting have concluded. And we see that right now it is trying to shoot up above this pivot here, and we'll be watching at this level next week to see will it be able to get above this level, or will it come back down and fill this gap here and get below back into this value area, and maybe possibly come back down and test this point of control, this composite point of control 29.21.70, and possibly walk back down into this trend line here and see what it get a push back down to the 28.17.75. Otherwise, we'll be looking for a continuation move up and toward the all-time high at 29.50. And looking at the ETF, the SPY, you can also see that there is this shooting star doji, a graveyard doji actually, and that could be a very bearish candle. And we've got a gap here, so we're basically looking for the possibility to come back into this 294.22 and maybe possibly come back down to this trend line and see would it be able to find some support and get a little bit bounce back, or would it just continue to slide down and come back and test the 282.79. Otherwise, if it continues to move up, we'll be watching to see if it's able to move back above the 298.46 and get up to the all-time high 302.63. Here we're looking at the cash index of the NASDAQ 100. See that actually made a little bit of more headway, better than the S&P 500. It broke to this pivot high here. Take a look at the daily. Although the daily, again, just like the S&P 500, it did see a shooting star here. And right now, basically looking to see would it be able to hold above this 78.21.72 level and see would it be able to push up to the 79.75.33. If it's unable to hold above this 78.21.72, that'd be looking for it to come down and fill this gap and possibly come back in to this below the 77.47, this particular resistance area, and come back and test this 76.38.39. And looking at the NQ, the E-mini NASDAQ 100 future, see this shooting star here trying to get up to this trend line. And if it continue to be able to push back above the FOMC 78.78 level that I have here and get above this trend line, then we're basically looking for a move up toward the 79.81.50 and possibly get up to the all-time high of 80.51.75. But if it's unable to move above the FOMC level, then basically you're looking for this thing to pull back and fill this gap at 77.82.25 and possibly get back under this point of control here near the 76.95. And then got this trend line here also. There's a possibility that it could come down and test this trend line for potential support. Looking at the QQQ, the ETF for the NASDAQ 100, see that it got above the 190.59. So essentially you want to see would it be able to continue to move up, break this trend line and get above the 194.71 and possibly get into the all-time high level of 195.55. If it is unable to stay above the 190.59, then be looking for this gap to come back down and fill this gap and get into this composite point of control somewhere around 186.87 and see would it be able to find some support and bounce it back, or would it be able to fill, or would it fail to hold this point of control level and come back down and possibly test the 179.20. Let's go and take a look at the crude oil. Right now, it seems like it could be coming up to try to tag this point of control, this composite point of control, 56.43. So we're going to continue to watch to see what this thing continue to move up, or would it pull back and come back down and possibly retest the 50.60 or the $50 area. That's basically these low for potential support, and if can't hold these support, we're still looking for this gap to get filled if it pull back below the 50 level. And for the gold, it is still trying to get up above this trend line and is still unable to do so. And I'm still continue to look for this thing to come back into this retracement zone before I start looking for some sort of bounce off of this zone. Right now, it is sort of forming a lower high and lower low. So basically looking for this thing to continue to pull back and possibly looking at the 1450 area and see how the price action gonna look like before I will start looking for some sort of a swing long type of a setup. Now, if it happen to come up and break this trend line, then I'll be basically looking for this, see would it be able to come up and come back in a back test, and I'll be looking at some sort of swing long pivot low here, if that is the case. So basically, I'm still sitting on the sideline, waiting for this thing to pull back or show its hand to see which way it's going to go and see is it ready to bounce back up. So that's this week's stock market update. Hopefully you find the content useful, and good luck on your trading next week. The earning season will start, and it will kick off with the financial. So pay attention to the financial stocks such as Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, and Wells Fargo, and Morgan Stanley. Those are the banks, the big banks that will be reporting next week. And depending how they move, because the S&P 500, a good portion of that is consists of these financial stock, and that could sway the market one way or the other. So good luck on your trading, and thank you for watching.